All right, so today I'm going to be talking to you about communicating science through videos and social media, but most importantly videos, because that's kind of like my area of expertise. And not click through. There we go. All right, so about me. I'm a communications media major and a theater studies minor at the University of Delaware. I'm from PA. I'm a junior. Some hobbies, interests of mine. I do theater. I love to sing. I also make YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel, as you can see. I'm a big Christmas fan, and as you can tell, I love Spider-Man. Just to get to know me, you know? All right, so main tasks. When you're posting videos and you're posting your content to social media, you want to make sure that your audience can understand you. You want to use pictures, you want to use certain text, and you want to be cautious about the scientific terms you use, and I'll get to that later on. Also, you want to use hashtags that will get your content to reach out to more viewers, especially viewers that are interested in your topic. Certain apps have different tools that you can use to improve your content, like editing videos, editing photos, cropping, you know, all that jazz. And then you can also follow accounts that focus on your area of science or expertise, and then they will most likely follow you back in the end. So YouTube, this is what I really want to hit hard. So for videos, you want to make sure they are short and sweet. Try to be less than 6 to 7 minutes, honestly, even 5, because the longer your video is, the harder it is to keep your audience engaged. And I've learned that over the years of making videos. Usually like the longer videos I've made didn't get a lot of views, and it's just because maybe I didn't start it off strong enough, but usually people have short attention spans. You know, that's why when you're scrolling through Twitter, you just kind of read quickly and you're like, oh, cool, that's funny. And then you just keep scrolling. You want to make your audience engaged with your video. And by doing that, you definitely want to keep your videos short. Also with videos, visuals versus text, you definitely want to focus on your visuals more than putting text on the screen. You want to use pictures to explain your topic with little text boxes, and I'll show you that, I believe, on the next slide. And voiceovers also help a lot if you're not using video. Some people post PowerPoints to YouTube and they have voiceovers over it to do like a little tutorial video. Less info crowding the screen all at once is very good. You don't want too much on your screen. It's kind of like a PowerPoint. Maybe mine's distracting because I have GIFs. I don't know if that's good or not, but I always put GIFs just to make it exciting and more entertaining. But yeah, more on the screen is not always great. And then there's also a language barrier you want to worry about when you're talking about science, because people may not understand the terms you are using. And that's kind of where I struggle. I'm not a science major. I don't know much about science. So when I'm making all these videos for Project WiCCED, you know, I have to learn how to translate these scientific terms for our audience to understand. So examples of easy to understand and harder to understand. On the left is one of the first videos I made for Project WiCCED. It was this one, I believe, was on runoff into our local water areas. And as you can see, I put a text box on the video. I put it in big text, and it's still showing the video and like the demonstration that we showed. And that's kind of like where we wanted to go with it, because too much text on the screen, like you're trying to read it and you're not focusing on like what's happening. So you don't want that to happen. And then on the right is another video edited poster together with the voiceover of somebody talking. And though, yes, all this information is great to have, I really couldn't do anything to edit it that great, just because, you know, it's all this information on one poster and it's so much just to read all at once, and the viewers may have difficulty understanding and just looking at all of this at once. It's very overwhelming. So that is something when you're making videos or posting on Twitter, or not really Twitter, but mostly videos, you just don't want too much on your screen all at once. YouTube upload tools. This is stuff whenever you upload a video, it comes up. So you can put on a title, you can put your description. This is from my YouTube channel. You can put defaults in. So whenever you upload a video, it just has your stuff in there all at once. On the bottom there on the left, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hard. It's kind of cut off. You can put up a thumbnail, and I'm going to be talking about that in a bit. On the right, you see you can make playlists, and you can put that on your channel's main page, so it's easier for your audience to navigate what they can see on your channel. And then on the very bottom, you see tags, and that's kind of like the hashtags of YouTube. You want to put words describing what your video is about into that, so it makes it easier for people to search up videos, and then it would come up in their search bar and it would be easier for them to find your videos. So say you're talking about salinization in local water areas, you want to use hashtags like salinization, science, water, oceans, you know, et cetera, stuff like that. Thumbnails. This is very big with YouTube. You can use Canva. I know we talked about that in the past two presentations we just had. So thumbnails, that is the first thing they see before even clicking on your videos. So that is something you want to make pop. That's something that people will see and be like, yes, I want to watch this video. This looks interesting. So this will help entice your viewers to click on your video. It should showcase what your video is about. It shouldn't be clickbait. Clickbait, sure, it gets you the views, but it's kind of misleading if, you know, your thumbnail is about whales and then you're talking about salinization and water. Like, the two things have nothing in common. So don't do that. Don't be misleading. But also don't use bland thumbnails. You know, it's hard to get engagement started. It's not very enticing. And like I said, you can use Canva. Canva actually has a thumbnail format that you can already use. It already has the size made up. You just have to edit your stuff on there. And I use that all the time to upload to my YouTube channel. And honestly, it's very great. It's free to use, and I highly recommend it. So Twitter, this is for more informative stuff. You can use text, photos, and videos. Per tweet, you can use up to 280 characters. I believe it used to be 140. For this, I find it easy to share info on Twitter. You know, I feel like for us Generation Z, it's very easy to get the news on Twitter that way. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but, you know, with the click of a button, you're able to retweet news. You're able to tag people and by including their Twitter handle. And hashtags can also be very helpful, but most people don't really use hashtags unless there's like a trend going on. So if, you know, say whatever you're talking about is somehow trending on Twitter, you can use that hashtag and it will help hopefully get you more viewership on the tweet that you just posted. So Twitter in action, here's our Project WiCCED Twitter account, some stuff that we post. You see, you can post links to websites or articles online, and it automatically shows the thumbnail of the article and the description of what it's about. On the right, you can see we post infographics on there, so it's very easy for people to see there. And you can also quote people and share tweets with people, as you see on the bottom. So there's very many different ways to spread news and info on Twitter, which is very great for the area of science. Now, Instagram, it's more photos and videos than text. This is more of a creative outlet, I feel like, and not, I wouldn't say not for news and info. It is easy to share infographics and experiments on it. You want to make your content pop. And by that, I mean, you want to make sure your photos look great. They showcase what your description is, and it will help you engage with your followers. So share photos to your stories from other accounts, and I'll show you how to do that on the next slide. Like pictures, follow accounts that, you know, like I said before, are in your area of expertise in science. And you can include a link in your bio, which we did for the Project WiCCED. We include our website, so if people have more, you know, curiosity towards our project, they can click on the link, go to our website, and it's very easy to get around on this app. So Instagram in action, here's our Project WiCCED Instagram page. As you can see, we have our bio there. We have our YouTube. I think that's a recent YouTube video that we posted. And then there you can see some of the pictures we have. You know, we have infographics here. We have pictures of the experiments we did. And it's just very easy to post it. People can read it. It doesn't disappear. It's there. And then here on the right, as I said, you can share photos to your story. Now, it was kind of hard to figure this out on the computer because it's kind of a different setup. But if you click on this little like paper airplane thing here on your phone, it should say share to your story if the account is not private. So you're able to share pictures from other accounts to your story, and then people will be able to see that. And it shows that you're engaging with your audience. It shows that you're sharing other content from other creators, which they may enjoy, and they may share your content on their stories as well. So posting in general, try to be consistent with your post. Don't post once every few weeks, and don't post 20 times in a day, because nobody likes seeing the same person post 20 times a day. But it also kind of sucks if you're like, wow, I like this person's content, but they only post every few weeks. So be consistent with your posting of the content. And then the content of your post, you want to be consistent with what you post specifically. Make it look unique, make it be engaging, and just make sure it has to do with what your content is all about, what your account is supposed to display for your research or your school or your projects or whatever you're working on. You don't want it to be like, say you own a food account and then you start posting about the beach, like, you know, food and beach. That doesn't work. So don't be misleading with your content. Use of scientific terms. Okay, so this is a big thing that I wanted to talk about, because this is something that I've learned a lot over the past few months of working with Project WiCCED. Make sure your audience can understand your content. You may understand terms like hydrochloric acid and salinization, but does your audience understand it? Lack of better terms, you want to dumb it down a bit, which is, it sounds worse. I couldn't think of a word to, you know, get that across, but that's what I've been told in a sense. But for an example, you know, instead of saying salinization, say buildup of salt in soils and water that can lead to toxicity in the substance. You know, that may be a bit more wordy, but if you just put salinization and the person watching your video doesn't know what salinization is, and that's what it's all about, they're going to be lost for the entire video. And that's what I actually had to work on for those first 2 videos that we posted, those experiments about. I had to keep changing the text, make sure it was at a different level for people to understand that aren't into science. So you want to lessen that barrier between your content and your audience. By doing that, you're able to help your audience understand your content and probably enjoy it more. So conclusion, YouTube video should be short. It's more about the visuals than the text, and use your uploading tools. Your uploading tools on YouTube will help you make your content so much better. And for Twitter, it's kind of like a mix. Oh, I put YouTube and YouTube. Oh, well, that's not what I meant. But it's like a mixture of YouTube and Instagram. So, you know, you can post pictures, you can post text, articles, you name it, videos. And it's easy to tag accounts and share content. I find Twitter to be the easiest way to just share content, even if it's not Twitter content. You know, like I said, you can share articles or you can share YouTube videos for all you want, you know. So that's the main thing for Twitter. And then Instagram, it's more visuals. You want to make your profile unique, make it look creative, make it pop out to your audience. So they're like, wow, I like this person's content. It's very informative, but it's also very creative and it looks nice. You know, by making it look nice, you'll get more engagement with your audience. And that's it. That's all I have to say about posting content to social media. And I'm excited to answer your questions at the end of the seminar.